HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time, and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's up? Welcome to the Having It All podcast. My name is Matthew Bivens, and if you can't tell already, I am so excited that you're here hanging out with me today for a brand new episode of the podcast. Last week, I had a rebroadcast. But today's episode is fresh. And today's episode is awesome because I'm talking about breakdowns. I'm talking about you avoiding breakdowns in your life, and I'm going to share with you some of the consequences of avoiding breakdowns. So this is going to be a real one. It's going to be a great one. And yes. All right, so let's get into a little bit of magic. At the top of every episode of the podcast, we kick things off with magic. Now, magic is your ability to influence self, others, and life in an empowering way. I'm going to say that definition to you all 100,000 times if I have to, for it to really sink in, because I'm giving you a brand new context of magic. This isn't Disney magic, right? This isn't abracadabra magic. This is life magic. Your ability to influence yourself, others, and life in an empowering way. And you're doing it all the time. You're doing it every single day, but you're probably not aware of it. And if you aren't aware of it, then you're going through life complaining about things, wishing things were different, feeling like a victim, when in reality, you are a creator of all the things around you. And there's so much possibility that you might be blind to. So I start off with some magical moments, and then I want you to reflect on your own magical moments. So this past weekend was an example of life magic for me, and self magic, I think. I had a chance to spend the entire weekend with Maya. So Sarah was out of town. She was speaking at a conference in Boston, which is freaking magical in and of itself. It was so cool. And so Maya and I had a chance to hang out all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I really, truly love my daddy-daughter time with Maya. So it was just very, very connected. We had a lot of fun. I didn't do any work over the weekend, which is atypical for me, especially because I have launched my course, the Having It All Blueprint, which I'll talk about in a moment. But particularly on a weekend when there's a course launch going on, for me not to do anything was really, really beautiful. And that just meant Maya and I just had so much time to just have fun. So we went to the park. I took her out to eat a couple of times. We had little dates. We watched movies. We played. I mean, it was fun. It was flow. It was beautiful. And I'm so grateful for that time. And I love practicing independence and interdependence in my relationship because I'm so used to a relationship that is dependent. right? A relationship where there's so much attachment and so much fear that results in jealousy and manipulation and all of that stuff. So Sarah and I have really been repping independence and then evolving our relationship to be an interdependent one. And so with Sarah going to Boston, that's a chance for us to just practice that independence. And it really is amazing. So there's so much magic that came forth this past weekend, and I'm just excited for it. I'm grateful for it. So take a moment now to think about your magic. What did you influence yourself to do this past weekend? I know you influenced yourself to do some magical things, but you might just be missing them. So think about it. Like, did you get up and go for a run? Boom, that's a magical moment because you didn't have to. You could have just laid in bed. You know, did you have a real conversation with one of your kids? Boom, right there. That's a magical moment. Or maybe somebody at work was like, yo, I watch you do X, Y, and Z every day. And, you inspired me to go and do this in my life. Like, that's a magical moment. So just reflect on it so you recognize how freaking amazing you are. Because you are. You truly, truly are. HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time, and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Let's get into a little bit of listener love now, because I love you all. I do. I got so much love for you. I hold the space of love and gratitude and appreciation for you. And so right now, I want to just give that love back out because you all give me so much love. And today, I'm sending it to Brittany on Instagram. So Brittany, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story with me. Sharing your story so openly and honestly, and like it just you're just vulnerable, and I was totally inspired. I am inspired. And you know what, Brittany, I believe you are strong as hell. And your strength plus your willingness to be vulnerable is going to create some beautiful healing opportunities for yourself and for so many others. So just keep it up. Keep moving forward, keep being strong, and keep being awesome. So Brittany, thank you so much. And if anybody else wants to reach out to me like Brittany did, you can hit me up on Instagram, Matthew_Bivens on Instagram. You can also hit me up on my email, mattcbivens@gmail.com. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what's going on in your life. What are your magical moments? You can give me some feedback on the podcast. You can give me some episode ideas. That's always wonderful when you tell me what you want me to talk about. Like, you guys don't know how awesome it is for me to receive a message from you where you're like, hey, can you do a topic on XYZ? Like, I'm so happy to do that for you because you're telling me exactly what you want to hear. Like, you make my job easy. So hit me up, connect with me. Now, before we roll into the podcast, I have to make this announcement. Actually, I don't have to. I'm choosing to. I'm choosing to announce the launch of my very first course called the Having It All Blueprint. Yes, you've heard me talk about this thing for months. I first teased this thing months and months ago. This is like a blockbuster movie premiere where you tease it in winter and the movie comes out in summer. Like, it was a long time ago that I teased this course, and I've just been plugging away at it. And it is here now. It is open. The doors are open, and we're going to kick off on March 4th, Monday, March 4th, right around the corner. And so that means on the 4th, the doors are going to close. I'm not going to let anybody else in while the very first class of people go through the course. But it'll reopen later on in the year. Don't worry about it. Now, this course, the Having It All Blueprint, is all about creating a life that is massively fulfilling for yourself, rewarding to those people around you, and aligned with your true purpose. So like this course is for anybody who has been asking themselves, like, what's my direction? What's my purpose? I don't feel like I have a purpose. How do I actually make change in my life? What are the steps? What am I supposed to do? I desire change, but I don't know what the first step is. Like, how do I build a better version of myself? How do I create better relationships? All of that is addressed in the Having It All Blueprint. And what's so cool about this is that this course is the same process, the same framework that I do with my one-on-one clients. The same thing that I do with my one-on-one clients, I put right into the Having It All Blueprint. And therefore, I know this stuff works. There are people out there who are living abundant, loving lives, who've totally transformed their lives because of the process and the framework that you all now have access to in the Having It All Blueprint. So, doors are open right now. You can sign up for the course now, and it's going to launch officially on March 4th. But if you try to sign up after the 4th, you won't be able to. The doors are going to be closed until I reopen them later in the year. So you definitely want to take advantage. If this is something that is interesting to you, but you may have some questions, then you can go to my website, MatthewBivens.com/blueprint. There's a link on that site down near the purchase section where you can actually get a 15-minute phone call with me. So if you have questions about the course and you're kind of on the fence after you learn about it some more, just schedule a call with me. We'll sit down, we'll talk about it. And for everybody else, if you just have, you want to get more details on it, or if you know you're ready to rock and roll and you want to jump in on this thing, then go to MatthewBivens.com/blueprint, BLUEPRINT, blueprint, like the Jay-Z album, MatthewBivens.com/blueprint, and you get all the information there. You can sign up, you can join us. It's going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to be there to walk you through this course. Like, I'm actually going to be there live with you every week to help you go through this course, to answer your questions, give you feedback. It's like you're getting coached by me without having to pay for my one-on-one coaching. So it's awesome. I truly hope that you just take a look at it and see if this is the type of thing that resonates with you, because I've put so much into it to help you create your abundant, loving life. So check it out, MatthewBivens.com/blueprint. That's all I got to say about that. Let's talk about breakdowns, people. Let's talk about breakdowns. So this episode, this conversation, this topic was inspired by a conversation I was in with my great friend Anthony yesterday. We're at the gym and, we're just exercising and talking. And we somehow got on the phrase, breakdown leads to breakthrough. Like somehow we that came up in our conversation. And that's such a common phrase that I use, breakdown leads to breakthrough, but I heard it from somewhere else. I don't know where I picked it up from. So it's floating out there in the ether somewhere, and I'm sure you've heard it outside of this podcast. The idea that a breakdown, right, a breakdown in your life, in some area of your life, is what eventually leads to a breakthrough. And a breakthrough means that you elevate to a new level. You quantum leap, right? You're at one level of understanding, one level of confidence, and then boom, you break through and now you're at a different level. And with that whole idea of breakdown leads to breakthrough, I want you to think about this for yourself for a second. Like, how frequently are you viewing a breakdown as a bad thing? And as a result, you're avoiding it. Because I think that happens all the time. In fact, I know that happens all the time. People avoid breakdowns because they're scary, because they're uncomfortable, because they might be exposed, because their relationship might end, because it's risky. They avoid all sorts of things that they think could lead to a breakdown, totally missing the reality that breakdown leads to breakthrough. And it's really funny. I was watching a movie, I think 2 nights ago. I was watching the animated Spider-Man movie called Into the Spider-Verse. And this is kind of a little spoiler. I'm going to explain something that happened later on in the movie, but this idea of breakdown to breakthrough is something you see in like every superhero movie, like every superhero origin story, has some sort of breakdown to breakthrough moment. And it happens in that Spider-Man movie where that main character is being tested. He's being tested by his friends, and his friends are like, yo, you need to prove yourself right now in this moment. Otherwise, we're going to leave you. We're just going to leave you behind. And he's not able to do it. He has a breakdown. He's left behind. He starts to doubt himself. You know, he's at his lowest point. And then that being at that low point opens up his faculties. It like opens up his channels to have this moment of clarity. And that moment of clarity fuels him to tap into some strength that he never knew that he had, which literally in the movie breaks him free of his bonds, and he then becomes the greatest version of himself. Like, that's something you're so familiar with because we see it on movies and TV. We see it all over the place. And what's crazy is that's not just a story. Like, that's how stuff works. That's how things work. Those breakdown moments, you get to whatever needs to happen. Like, you don't have to go to your rock bottom. I'm not talking about rock bottom. I'm just talking about those moments where, you know, life just smacks you. You just get hit. And then in those moments, you have an opportunity to get back up and rise and keep it moving. But if you're so afraid of breakdown, if you're so afraid of it that you avoid it, that you don't put yourself in a position to experience a breakdown, then guess what? You cannot expect a breakthrough to happen. You can't. What you can expect is the same old, same old. And I want that to click in your mind, because I know what it's like to avoid breakdown at all costs. You know, avoiding breakdown at all costs, it looks like not rocking the boat in a relationship. It looks like not saying what you truly feel or what you truly want or what your opinion is, because you don't want to really rock the boat, so you don't speak up. You know, it looks like being afraid of being criticized in your friend group, so you hide your truth. You really don't say how you feel about a topic or how you feel about a person, or just plant your flag and make your stance about something. You hide it. You know, avoiding breakdown looks like you're at work and you just keep all your ideas inside because you don't want to put those ideas out there and potentially be called out. And maybe if you get called out, you get put on the spot, and maybe you discover that you don't know as much as you know. Oh my gosh. And so you keep everything back. You know, you avoid taking those risks because of the failure, because you think that there's failure associated with it, aka the breakdown. But then on the flip side of that, you're constantly wishing for a breakthrough. You're constantly wanting things to change. And breakthrough happens when you take risks and you put yourself in a position to possibly have a breakdown. Right? Breakdown leads to breakthrough. I watch a lot of ESPN, and they had some highlights on SportsCenter the other day, and there was a UFC fight. And it's such an interesting thing when you see those UFC championship fights, right? At the end of the match, they got two guys or girls, and they raise one of the hands as the winner. And sometimes you look at the winner and you're like, damn, this person won? They are so jacked up. Look at their eye, look at their lip, look at their nose. Like, this person won the fight. Like, they just look like they went through hell. And you know what? Any person out there in any profession, in any sport, in any field who has ever had their hand raised up because they won a championship, you better believe they've gone through some breakdowns. You better believe they got smacked down. Absolutely. Absolutely, you have to. You cannot become a champion at what you do. You cannot become a master at what you do. You cannot be excellent, truly excellent, not just good, not just great, truly excellent at what you do if you avoid breakdown. Because the breakdown leads to the breakthrough.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Like, if you step into that UFC ring of life enough times, you're going to get your nose broken. There are plenty of people out there who might step into a ring, right? Step into some area of their life and avoid getting hit and knock somebody out. Oh, and I won the match. Sure, that could happen once. That could happen twice. But anybody who's raising that championship banner, they've been smacked down. They've experienced breakdowns. They've got that little funky cauliflower ear that all those UFC people have because their faces have been mashed into the mat so many times. You know what I'm talking about, that like crazy looking ear that they have. They've got that jacked up nose because it's been broken so many times because they decided to keep getting in the ring and getting smacked down. They've had those moments where they're sitting by themselves like, why am I doing this? I keep getting my ass whooped. And they decide to move forward. Like, they've had that breakdown moment. But if you're avoiding it, you can't have the breakthrough moment on the other side. This goes back to so much of the stuff I talk about on the show, like love versus fear. Like, if you never step into your fears, then you don't know what the feeling is like on the other side. That feeling when you break through, when you elevate. You know, like for all those examples that I've shared over the course of this podcast, all those moments where I decided to step into a fear, like if I never did that, I never would have become the person who survived that fear, right? Who transcended that fear, who evolved and became a greater version of himself. It doesn't happen if you're avoiding breakdown all the time. And you know, one of the areas that I see this happening so often, and because I've experienced it myself, and I think I'm just more sensitive to it, you know, in others, is in relationships. You fear having a breakdown in a relationship because you're so attached. Therefore, you don't speak your truth. You withhold your feelings because you don't want to create a breakdown. And personally, I think if you aren't disagreeing with your spouse or your partner, then you're not going deep. Like, if you aren't getting into it, you're not being authentic. You're not being authentic with yourself. You're not being authentic with your partner. You know, when Sarah and I get into arguments, honestly, I'm grateful. I'm grateful because it means we're addressing something that has been suppressed in some way. We're addressing something that's been underneath the surface, and now it's coming up. And I know that both of us are committed to this thing, so there's no worries that, you know, either of us is going to spin out. And so it means that, yeah, we're in a storm right now. And yeah, it's like being in the middle of a hurricane and, you know, the trees are whipping around and the mailboxes are flying. It's like, this is not really fun. However, I know when we get into it, we're just going to be so much better for it. Like, in this moment of what feels like a breakdown, if we just stick with it, we're going to experience a breakthrough. And we're going to be stronger. And we're going to be tighter for it. And so it's really interesting because I see that in relationships all the time. Somebody is afraid of a breakdown, so they don't speak up. Somebody's afraid of a breakdown, so they don't share how they honestly feel. They don't ask for what they want. They're afraid to rock the boat. And that's just one area of an example. So it's just something that you can reflect on for yourself. And I want you to do that. You know, take a moment now to reflect on the areas in your life where you want a breakthrough to happen. Think about where you would love a breakthrough to happen. Like, man, I would love to have a breakthrough in my relationship. I would love to have a breakthrough in my finances. I would love to have a breakthrough in my health. Whatever it is. Once you have that in your mind, ask yourself, am I intentionally playing small so that I can avoid a breakdown in this area? Am I not taking risks? Am I not expressing myself authentically? Am I not being bold and courageous? Because if the answer is yes, then guess what? Just be prepared for your breakthrough to either never happen or be way off in the future. You know, that's just how this stuff works. Like, if you're not willing to go through a potential breakdown, don't expect there to be a massive, massive breakthrough. You might have a baby breakthrough. Like you might have something great happen. You're totally capable of that because you're a powerful person. But we're talking about breakthrough, people. We're talking about elevating to a whole new level of experiencing yourself and others in life. That type of thing doesn't happen when you're playing small and you aren't taking risks. That type of thing doesn't happen. Like the championship doesn't happen if you don't step in the ring. It just doesn't. And it's not personal. That's what the cool thing about all of this is. Like, it's not personal. This isn't a personal thing towards you. So don't get your feelings hurt. This is just how things work in life. Because it's so easy. Like, man, and this is funny, total tangent. Sarah told me some story about a person today and how they kind of were feeling emotional about something. And I am not a horoscope person at all. I never have been. But for some reason, when Sarah told me that story, the first thing that popped in my mind was, I wonder what their sign is. So what I was about to say just in this moment is that, I'm a sensitive person. Like, I'm a Cancer. I'm pretty sure that's part of what the Cancer sign is, being sensitive. And so for me, like if I was to hear my own message, it could be very easy for me to take it personally. But this stuff's not personal. Breakdown leads to breakthrough. It just is what it is. So embrace it. Embrace it, because I know that you're truly playing for that abundant, loving life in all areas, right? We can break down the word life into those 6 F's: faith, family, friends, fitness, finance, and fun. And you want to experience abundance in those areas. You want to experience yourself as being loving and receiving love in those areas. Breakdown's going to happen, everybody. It is. It's going to happen. And if you trust yourself enough to know that you can make it through whatever breakdown, then okay, go and face them. You have a little bit of faith. That was my word of the year last year, faith. Boy, I'm so grateful for that word. That word has even carried over into this year a lot. Like when you have faith, you can step into things that are totally scary. You can step into situations where you're certain a breakdown is going to happen. But when you have faith that, in the end, everything's going to be okay, then you open yourself up for the possibility for a breakthrough. So this message is so great for everybody out there who's just like, I'm ready for breakthrough. I'm ready for breakthrough. I'm ready for breakthrough. It's like, really? Are you ready for breakthrough? Okay. Be prepared for breakdown. Open yourself up for that. And just be okay with it. Because that's where you can really get a chance to see what you're made of. Get a chance to really rely on all of those things that you have within you, your abilities, right? Like go back to that superhero analogy. It's like when you're in that moment where everything is broken down and you're just like stuck, it's like now you get a chance to tap into what's inside of you. Now you get a chance to connect with some source of power that you didn't know was in there so that you can truly break free of those bonds and then ascend to a greater version of yourself. So be okay. Like embrace it. It's okay. Breakdown is okay. Let's stop making that a 4-letter word. Let's stop making that so scary. A breakdown in your relationship is not the end of the world. Even if the relationship ends. All right? Even if your relationship ends because you were okay to face a breakdown, it doesn't mean that your world's going to end. The sun's going to continue to rise. The earth is going to continue to rotate. And you're going to continue to go on. So just open yourself up to that possibility that, you know what, maybe the breakthrough you've been waiting for is on the other side of some sort of breakdown. Maybe it's a breakdown in your belief systems. Maybe you have to let go of some beliefs that aren't serving you. Maybe it's in a breakdown in your circles, your crew, your environment, your friend groups. Maybe you got to let go of some of those friend groups that are holding you back in order for you to truly experience a breakthrough. Whatever it is, breakdown could lead to breakthrough. So just embrace it. So today's episode is really a great opportunity to just, reflect on this after you complete listening. And then from that reflection, you can take some massive action, take some action in your life, like step into some things, or at least open yourself up to know and see where you are avoiding, where you're avoiding risk, where you're avoiding breakdown. That's all I'm asking for right now. Just heighten that awareness. Let's build that awareness, because on your own, you're going to start making shifts in your life. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And if you want an accelerant, maybe a potential breakdown to breakthrough accelerant, then totally consider joining us in the Having It All blueprint. Because some of the things that I'm teaching you and showing you and helping you to build in the blueprint, when you go and activate them in your life, you could potentially experience breakdown, but I guarantee you're going to experience breakthrough, 100%. Life transformation, people. That's what it's about. So if that resonates with you, then go check it out at MatthewBivens.com/blueprint one more time. Yes. All right. I'm complete with today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, continuing to have conversations about what it looks like and feels like and smells like to have it all, because you and I are here to experience abundant, loving lives, because we believe we can have it all. We hold that belief. It's in our minds, it's in our hearts that we can have it all. And so I appreciate you joining me on this conversation so that we can just keep that energy flowing, keep that juice going, that having it all juice. I love it. Appreciate it. All right. My name is Matthew Bivens. Here is to you, having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.